So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're living in a bit of a weird time right now. Now, I've probably never been more sick of hearing the same story in the news day after day, just hearing the same thing over and over again. But something I have found pretty interesting is how people have been reacting to this whole situation. Now, we've got to remember that there's probably nobody alive today who's actually experienced a worldwide pandemic like this. Now, I don't think anyone could have predicted that toilet paper and paper towels would be the #1 highest demand product in stores. I mean, it does make sense that stuff like, cleaning supplies and hand sanitizer went too. But a lot of people are asking, like, why toilet paper? It's not like this virus even does anything to your body to make you need more toilet paper or anything like that. Now, I'll just throw out my own theory as to why so many people are hoarding, like, way more toilet paper than they need. I mean, obviously, it's not that a lot of people think that they're going to go through 100 rolls in the next month. I think it's more just a case of everybody noticing that, oh, a lot of people are buying toilet paper. Oh, I better get it now because they're all going to be gone. So because more people buy it, everybody else sees that, and so it makes even more people want to buy it. So the demand is really driven from the perception of demand, and it's kind of just spiraled itself out of control. It's just that everybody kind of sees the scarcity of something, and they think, well, that is something that I need, so I better get that while I can. In a weird way, you can kind of compare toilet paper to diamonds. Now think about diamonds. Do people go and buy diamonds because, oh, this is so useful, I can do so much with this? No, it's more just like, oh, these are so rare and so valuable, and that's what makes them worth so much. And now you could kind of say the same thing about toilet paper, is that it's so rare and in high demand. I mean, am I saying that toilet paper is the new diamonds? Yeah, pretty much. We'll probably start seeing jewelry made out of it soon. But anyway, moving past that. If you've been watching a lot of news over the past few weeks, you probably think that the whole world is falling apart, the sky is falling, everybody's dying, the world's just coming to an end, basically. Everything is shut down, nobody is working. But if you actually just go outside, a lot of things aren't that different, at least depending on where you are. Like, there's plenty of people who already worked from home, or, YouTubers who are just like, well, I already never leave the house, so it's not like this is that different for me. Or maybe you work at a grocery store and you're just like, yep, it's just been a little more busy than usual. But there are some people that are so terrified of the news, but still, for whatever reason, decide to go out and leave the house. And so we've seen some very interesting, we'll call it, homemade protective gear. Like this guy. Looks like he's definitely covering his face and his whole body, and looks like he's got some social distancing features added onto this costume. I mean, if those tubes strapped all over your body aren't pushing people away, I mean, everyone just kind of being afraid of you might. Oh, and here we've got our newspaper plague doctor. I mean, I feel like this would be a great time for people who just love Halloween costumes to just go out like that. This guy in Italy wearing a 1-meter radial disc to avoid contact with people. Yeah, well, I mean, good luck getting through doors or even fitting that in your car, but I guess it keeps people away. Oh, now this is a good one. See, why go out and spend a bunch of money on protective gear when you can just make your own just out of garbage? I mean, you can just reach into your garbage can, pull out a bunch of plastic bags, and then just wrap yourself up in it, and you'll be just fine. And now, yes, well, I mean, if it filters air in a car, then it should filter air into your lungs, right? Alright, now here's something you'll see quite a bit. A lot of people like to make masks out of, like, cutting up plastic bottles of some kind and just strapping it to your face. I honestly don't even know what this one's made out of, but it looks like it's some kind of, like, bread bag or something. And here we have another plastic bottle mask. Oh, this is the plastic bottle mixed with an air filter. This person, I feel like, is so afraid of the virus that they're just trying to die in other ways, just trying to suffocate themselves. Oh, now this is some real ingenuity. I mean, just go into your wife's closet, pull out a bra, and wear it around your face. It'll work like a charm. And as you can see, some people still want to enjoy their bike ride in their big hazard suit. And finally, this comes from a place where the government mandated that anyone who goes outside must be wearing a mask. So, I mean, they didn't specify what kind of mask. So that's what's going on with everybody who's daring enough to leave the house. Now let's see what's going on with all the people who, are doing the responsible thing, quarantining themselves in the house. Our pets are very happy with it because we're spending a lot more time with them. But being trapped in your house with the rest of your family has had very polarizing effects. So for some people, it's made their whole family start to reconnect and they're starting to get along better and, everything's going much better for them. But then on the other end, there's been a sharp uptake in domestic disputes and child abuse and divorces because for whatever reason, people in the same family just can't get along. And now with everybody being trapped together, it just it gets a little ugly. And now you also have all of these celebrities who are stuck at home, and they're starting to go crazy because nobody's paying attention to them, and that's really what they thrive on. So, you know, they're so used to just having constant attention 24/7, and now that people aren't paying attention to them, they're just having a really hard time. Plus, you've got all these late night talk show hosts who, now that they don't have their crew of 100 plus people writing their entire show for them, you can see that they are actually just probably low tier YouTubers who don't even know how to record their own videos. There's also been a huge surge in everybody using streaming services, so sites like Netflix are starting to get slowed down and lowered quality because there's just so many people watching. I mean, in some ways it is kind of pleasant to just be able to sit home, just be able to watch some shows without feeling guilty about not going out and being productive. You could also be one of these very unfortunate people who end up being stuck in the Maldives because they're not allowed to travel back home at this point. That's gotta be a real shame to just be stuck on your honeymoon for extra long. But in other news, it's pretty clear that 2020 has brought so much with it that people are just simply not prepared for it all. You've even got people destroying 5G towers because, well, 5G is new and there's a new virus, so one must cause the other. You know, overall, what's most interesting to me about the whole situation is that when you think back maybe like 6 months and you think about all of the things you were so worried about and all of your problems, they just seem completely obsolete today. So one thing I've really learned lately is just like, if you're ever trying to forget about all your problems, all you need is to just get much bigger problems. I mean, for example, we just had a decently sized earthquake here a few weeks ago, and I can tell you that I pretty much didn't think about the virus at all for like a couple days during all that, because I was just so freaked out by something that was just so much more in my face. And now there's been some news about Yellowstone starting to show some signs that it would erupt. So if Yellowstone goes off, we will forget all about this virus because it will change the world much worse. And now we're being told that we can spread the virus just by breathing. So, I mean, the only logical thing to do now is to just stop breathing, and then we can just beat this outright and we'll be good. Anyways, hopefully you guys are all doing well and stay safe. Go ahead and let me know in the comments what part of the world you're at and what it's like in your area. How chaotic it is, or how calm it is, or if people are even paying much attention at all. Because here in Utah, I would say it's sort of like half shut down. Because like I can still go out and buy food from the grocery store or get takeout pretty much anywhere. And there's still lots of people working. I mean, I just barely started like a landscaping job this last week. So if anything, I'll be going out more than I was before. But that also might slow me down in uploading, so my goal is to do it one a week, but I might be a little bit late. But that about does it for me.